Alright, so this seems a little bit dramatic, but this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a little bit now. I teased like episode 1 or 2 in the vlog that I was gonna tell the story of when I got hit by the car. I'm kind of just sick of telling it. You know, I've told this story 300 to 400 different times to different people, different days at work, shit like that, you know, in public, at bars, and I'd rather just direct him to the video, give a little more comprehensive of, you know, what the fuck happened. So this isn't like a, you know, I'll tell the story in public, and it's not like, it's like a nonchalant thing for me, but this was a pretty traumatic experience in my life, and pretty lucky to be alive, I'll be honest. People have been in the same situation as me and have died, so, or serious traumatic brain injury, coma, shit like that. Like, trust me, I know how close I was to dying, so I think we'll take it back a little bit. This is my sophomore year of high school. I failed a class or two at Canisius. I failed Spanish and I failed science, one of my science classes, and I failed biology. Parents basically told me that I'm not going to be getting rides to school. You know, take the metro bus like I always do. You know, it's just because it's the summertime. You know, you got to pay for your bus pass. You know, it's how it is. You fucked up, so you got to pay. It was maybe my like few days in. Like, it was not like I had just started going to summer school. Ended classes around, I want to say noonish, normal 20-minute ride back into Kenmore. I proceed to get off the bus at Colvin and Deerhurst. That's my stop. Stop for a second. I stop on the sidewalk and pull up my phone, and I had like this, didn't have this. I had the Rumor, LG Rumor, if anybody remembers that phone. It was the slide out keyboard that shows. I had 2 of those. I think I sent a message to somebody, and I went to go look across the street, and I looked right, and that's toward like the dashes area, and 0 cars at all, like nothing for at least a mile. Looked left, and the bus was still there, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. So I looked up to see if it was a red light, and the angle of which the light was at, there was no those, you know, it was the suburbs, so there's no those, you know, stop or walk signs. So you kind of have to figure out if it's a red light or a green light. So looked right, didn't see traffic. Looked up, didn't see the light signal. But the bus had been stopped there for about a minute or so. So I was like, oh, the light must be red. Why the fuck would this bus be here if it wasn't red? This is where we're going to break down into the graphics, and this is now going to be a voiceover. But so I try to get my best look as I can to look around the bus. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I start walking on the street. So this bus is lined up perfectly. If there was a white line where cars would be stopped, it's in the right spot. I thought it was a red light. I proceed to cross. I looked the bus driver in the eyes. Now this is a 4-lane wide road, to give this preface. I am in the first lane, nearest the curb. And I looked at the bus driver, and I don't see any signs of disapproval. But as I get into like on the driver's side of the bus driver like looked weird and like hits the horn, and I'm like, oh, he's about to go. This is all. I'm not saying this out loud. This is like an inner thought process. You know, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, he's saying, you know, he's trying to get moving. I'm in his way. You know, I look right again, and I don't see any cars, so I take one big step from outside of that bus, and I'm basically at the corner. I didn't see anything past the bus. It's a building with wheels. It's a big ass fucking bus. So take one big step with my left leg, almost like I ran, like it was a running step. Accentuate this. This was a gigantic step, almost like a jump. I cocked my head left, and all I saw was about 10 feet in front of me was a gold, either 2007 or 2009 Pontiac G6, going about 40 miles an hour. And I didn't see anything after that. I went black. People talk about like blacking out when they're drunk, or blacking out when they get punched or knocked out. This was different. I saw the car, and my body just went, fucking shut up. Shut up. I don't know what the fuck happened, but it was different from any kind of blackout that I'm familiar with, because I heard everything. I didn't feel anything, I didn't see anything, but I heard everything. This is from my perspective for now. I'm blacked out, and I'm still thinking. Like, I don't see any white light or anything like that, any like religious bullshit. I'm just black, but I'm thinking. My mind is still firing. I'm like, the first thought that comes to mind is, no way that just happened. No, no fucking way. This is a dream, and I am, I'm asleep on the bus right now. Then, I regained consciousness. From what I was told was about a minute later. I am about 20 to 30 feet away from where I was standing. Diagonally, I got thrown, this is where the drawing will come in handy, I got thrown diagonally 30 feet sideways and slid across the pavement lifelessly. So that was super, I'm glad I didn't see myself to have that happen. I woke up, it was really blurry, and I realized my glasses had been knocked off, and so had my shoes. And I was like, okay, well, I can still feel my leg, so it's really not that bad. I can still feel my shit. And then the pain hit, and I realized, oh fuck, a car just hit me. These things tend to hurt. People say hit by a car. They're not fucking around. These things hurt. They weigh 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. They're not. So, I hit a tree when I was skiing. I found out those motherfuckers are solid. Woke up, laying down, caught my neck up, and I look at myself, and I see my glasses, 40 fucking feet away. Like, I didn't just see what the outline of them across the road. And I'm like, okay, glasses are there, shoes are 20 feet that way, and directly across from me on the other side of the road is the car. I can see the tail end of the car swerved off like skid marks and shit. And I'm like, okay. And then I assess myself. I look down at myself, and I see that I'm particularly bloody. It's not like I got shot, but the front of the car, the front passenger side headlight caught my knee, my left knee. When I took that step, that's where it caught me. So I was kind of lucky in that respect, and I'll explain that. But I had this gigantic crescent shape, and I still have a scar of where the headlight impacted me, because I broke the headlight when I hit it. And my right knee was there was no skin on it at all, because I had slid across the pavement for so long. My arms are a little bit bloody. I had glass all up in me, asphalt. This is when all the people get off the bus now. After I've woken up, I don't know how in that time, I had no idea how long I had been out. I'm like, it felt like a second, but apparently it had been a little bit. So people start filing off the bus. They should not have let people do that. There's this lady, she was a fat lady. I'll say that overweight would be a good word for her. But I could hear her, and this lady said, well, she wasn't a nurse yet. She was like a nursing student. So I looked at her in the eyes, blurry from what I could see, and I said, don't fucking touch me. And that's when I knew I was going to be a little bit alright. I woke myself up a little bit. I was just like, don't fucking touch me, as loud as I could to this lady. And then I saw this dude coming at me, and it was, I'm still on my back, but my head was on a swivel. I'm searching myself, and he's like, hey, I'm doing road construction on your street. I saw you this morning. He had his shit together. He was like, I'm a EMT. Where's your phone? I want you to call your mother. I just called, I just called the authorities. They're on the way. I said, okay. Reached in my pocket. Handy dandy brick roomer was still there. I called my mother, and I said, she answered the phone with something of the tone of, what do you want? She had told me, which I thought was the most funny thing my mother has ever said to me, in retrospect, was I was bugging her earlier that week just about summer school, and she's like, do not call me unless you're dead or in the hospital, is what her quote was when I left for school that day. So, ring her up, and she said, so Mom, remember how you said don't call you unless I'm in the hospital? I just got hit by a car on the corner of Colvin and Deerhurst. Please get here. Bye. Whole neighborhood showed up though. By this time, before my mom even showed up, Kenmore Tonawanda police, EMTs, medics, everybody. First thing I heard was a cop car, a tire pull up a foot from my fucking head behind me. Next thing I saw was 2 ambulances roll up, a shitload of cop cars showed up, like so fucking many. Like, the whole intersection was blocked. This doesn't really happen a lot in Kenmore. So, then I felt the gravity of the situation. When all those people showed up, I thought, maybe I'm walking home after this, I'll be fine. No. Let's go.